not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yo, what up, y'all? I'm back with another video. And today I wanted to speak to y'all about the conversation that everyone seems to be ranting about online. Yes, I'm talking about the interview that Barack Obama had on Michelle Obama's podcast. Yeah, that interview. You know, the one where everyone is saying he made the comment about every young boy needing a gay man in their lives. Not exactly in those words, but that's exactly how a lot of us took it. And when I say us, I'm talking about me included. I did take it that way because if you go back and watch that entire interview, and I mean watch it in its entirety, you will see exactly what kind of agenda they are trying to push and what kind of agenda they've been pushing for years. Yeah, all I know is this. Young boys need different types of men in their lives. That is true. But most of all, they need their fathers in their lives. Why is that, you might ask? Because a young child, and everyone was young once, no one was born an adult. So everyone knows exactly what I am about to say. We all looked up to our parents. Did you not? You looked up to your mother and you looked up to your father. They were God. Yes. Your parents were God when you were young. You knew nothing of anything else outside of your parents. They were the rulers of your household. They were the rulers of your life. They were your shelter. They were your everything. And so instead of pushing that narrative, they seem to be trying to tell young boys that they need to look for other influences outside of their home, outside of their fathers, because, and I quote, this is something that Barack Obama said himself on that podcast episode, is that a father may not be enough. He may not be enough of an influence for a young boy. Are you kidding me? I know for a fact I'm enough of an influence for my son. He don't need any other influences outside of me, but he should have other influences outside of me. Not to check me and what I'm trying to teach him, but to pick up in some of the spaces where I left a void. Yes, in some of the spaces where I left a void, because you have to understand something. You cannot teach your children everything. I haven't had every experience. And so other men who have had other experiences, yes, they can teach him certain things themselves from their experiences, from their lived experiences. And I teach him from mine. But at the same time, my word should definitely go. My word definitely goes. The parents, the mother and the father's word should definitely go before anyone else. Your parents are held above anyone else. And you know what? They seem to be pushing the narrative of young boys, men, looking to other men who are not masculine. And in order to stay away from being toxic, you need a gay man to check you. This is exactly what Obama was saying. I hope y'all know this. This is exactly what he was saying. I'm just translating it for you. But it seems that they want you to believe you need a man who's not as masculine as your father to check you. That's exactly what they were saying. But guess what though? That's what your mother is there for. See, this is why men and women need to start sticking together, because we're not sticking together anymore. It's a wrap. Dating, relationships, marriage, all of that, it's over. It's a wrap. It's a done deal. Everyone's cooked. But no one's staying together anymore. No one's sticking together anymore. Men and women, we have gone opposite directions. But this is why you need the man and the woman in the household, because the man is the masculine and the woman is the feminine. The yin and the yang, black and white, up and down, wet and dry. Do y'all see what I'm saying? They are the total opposites of each other. And so they keep that balance. Now, they're not telling you this type of stuff. They are telling you that you young men need a feminine man in your life to check you, to keep you away from the toxicity of being a man, to keep you away from toxic masculinity. This is exactly what they are saying. And I've seen so many interviews where they seem to throw names out there like Andrew Tate, like Myron Gaines, and some of these other red pill content creators. And that's not to say those are red pill content creators, but red pill is another name that they love to throw around. Red pill this, red pill that. Us, our young boys are watching red pill content. Well, let me tell you something. They would not be watching this type of content if you had answers for them, but you don't seem to have answers for them. The only thing you seem to want to do to these young boys is steer them down another path, away from being masculine, away from being men, to being soft, to being feminine. Oh yeah, you could paint your nails as a boy. You could do whatever it is you want as a boy. It's fine. Seriously? This isn't what I was taught. This isn't how I grew up at all. I was taught to be masculine. And that's exactly what I've been. And I've seen my father, who is a masculine man, be in his masculine. I've never seen him be in his feminine. He's never allowed us to see him in his feminine. You want to know why? Because he does that in secret. And that's exactly what I do. You will not see me cry. No one in public will see me cry. You will not see me lose control of my emotions. Do you want to know what happens to men who lose control of their emotions? You already know where they end up. 2 places, dead or in jail. And so in order to teach these young boys how to be truly masculine, how to be within their masculine frame, they need masculine men in their lives. That's what they need in their lives. I'm sorry to say, but that's the facts. That's the truth. Anyone out there can get mad at me all you want, but you're just getting mad at the truth. And I know that the truth hurts, so it's not going to hurt me in any way. But y'all must understand something. In order for young men to grow up to be masculine, they need masculine influences in their lives. So they need their fathers in their lives as well as their mothers. But that's another narrative they want to push. A mother can raise a young boy to be a man. Yeah, she doesn't need a father. She doesn't need a husband. She doesn't need a man in the household. This is something else that they're pushing. And some women are actually eating this up, not realizing what they are doing to their futures, not realizing what they are doing to their kids. And then when their kids get older and he's locked up, guess what? You're in that visiting room and you're thinking to yourself, damn, how did I mess this up? And some of y'all don't even care because you have actually taught your sons that that's what being masculine is. Ending up in jail, crashing out is being masculine. Well, young men, that's not masculine. I'm here to tell you that crashing out, going to jail, being a YN, it's not being masculine. Being masculine is following your own path, meaning not being a follower. A masculine man is a leader. Yes, not all of us are leaders. I know this. That's what you're going to say. Not everyone wants to lead. No, I get that. But you must lead your own life, though. You don't have to lead other people, but you must lead your own life. But you're not even doing that. You're allowing other people, outside influences, to influence you into doing what it is they want you to do, into being feminine, into thinking that toxic masculinity actually exists. I've even seen a video where a therapist has said that toxic masculinity doesn't even exist. And this was a woman therapist, a female therapist. Yeah, she said it. Toxic masculinity doesn't exist. And I've been screaming it from the mountaintops for the longest, but nobody believes me yet until it's too late. You're going to realize when these young boys grow up to be feminine and there's no men to marry, ladies, you are going to look at their mothers and you are going to look at society and blame them. That's who you're going to blame. But you know who you need to blame? You need to blame yourself starting right now, because you're the ones raising these young boys. You're raising them to crash out. You're raising them to be YNs. They think that if a man looks at them the wrong way and they lose control of themselves, that's being masculine. No, that's not being masculine. That's actually being a bitch. If you lose control of your emotions, you're being a bitch. That's exactly what it is. I'm sorry. Whenever a woman loses control of her emotions, what's the first thing people call her? Exactly. So if you're a man and you lose control of your emotions, you're a bitch. You're being a bitch. I don't care what type of crime you committed. I don't care who you deleted. I don't care how long you spent in jail. That doesn't make you masculine either. I hope y'all know this. Spending time in jail does not make you masculine at all. And you have to remember, I'm speaking from experiences that I've been through, experiences that I've witnessed, and people that I've talked to. So yes, going to jail does not make you masculine either. You seem to think that crashing out makes you masculine, and you want to know where you learn that from? You learn it from watching your mother. Yes, that's exactly where you learn it from, because I learned how to control my emotions from watching my father. Remember at the beginning of this video, I told you that I've never seen him lose control. I have never seen him cry. I have never seen, no, he controls his emotions in front of us. And that's what I learned to do by watching him. I learned a lot from watching him. I even learned and got my work ethic from him. That's why I work so hard. That's why I work hard to bring y'all these videos. That's why I started this channel, because I saw men like him work hard all their lives, their entire lives. They've worked hard only for what? For society to do what? To try to tell them that they're not enough to raise their boys. They're not enough to raise their sons. They don't even need to be in the households. The women don't need you. That's exactly what society has been telling us for years. And it's even getting worse now, because they are blatantly telling you right in front of your face. They are putting it out there. That's what this whole interview with Barack was about. It was about him basically putting it out there in front of y'all and letting you know that us men, we're not enough to raise our boys. They need outside influences. They need other influences to check us when we're being too masculine. That's exactly what he was saying. I'm just translating it for you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And if you don't, then go back and watch his video, watch that interview, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just relaying a message. I'm just telling y'all how I saw it. And if you don't see it the same way that I do, well, you're welcome to leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about that interview and what he was really saying, because I know that 1 + 1 is 2. And when I watched that interview, trust me, I got 2 out of it. I didn't get anything else beside that. So yes, y'all must understand something. They are trying to push this narrative that masculine men are not enough, that men are not enough. They are trying to teach these young boys that they need to be more in tune with their emotions. Do you know what happens when men are in tune with their emotions? I already told you what happens when men are in tune with their emotions and where they end up. There's a large population of men in jail right now that were in tune with their emotions. You can't be in tune with your emotions. You have to control your emotions. See, when you're in tune with something, that means you go with the flow. So if you feel sad, then you're going to what? Act sad. If you feel angry, then you're going to act out. You're going to crash out. If you feel, do you see what I'm saying? So you need to control those emotions. You can cry in silence. You can cry by yourself when you're alone in your room. You could punch a wall, do whatever it is that you have to do. But at the same time, control those emotions as a man. That's what toxic masculinity would be like if you couldn't control your emotions. But see, they are trying to flip words, which a lot of that has been going on lately. Words have been redefined to have different meanings, to mean something different, something that it didn't mean before, but now it means this. No, we're not going to do that. See, they are trying to say that men being masculine is toxic masculinity. That's exactly what, yeah, a man who is masculine, they want to say that that's toxic masculinity. No, that's not toxic masculinity. That's just being a man. I woke up like this. I'm going to bed tonight like this. This isn't an act. Just like we don't say there's toxic femininity, y'all will never hear a man say this. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whatever is going on in society right now, and whatever reason, they want our boys to grow up feminine. They want to feminize our boys. They want men to be more in tune with their emotions. They want men to act out. They want men to crash out. Yeah, that's exactly what y'all want. Talking about being emotional. That's exactly what y'all want. And not to mention, when you're even emotional to your woman, to your wife, to your girlfriend, guess what? That turns her off. So you can't tell me that men need to be more emotional, because whenever we get emotional for the world, guess what y'all do? Y'all call us bitches. And then when we're masculine, y'all turn around and say we're toxic. Which one is it? Let me know. Until next time.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.